I guess this is it. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Lena.
Hey, how are you? Good to have
Wonderful.
you here. I guess this is it. Just a second. Yeah, I don't know how many lives I should host until I learn how to do this. Anyhow, hello everyone. Hi, warm
Hello.
welcome to all of you, all who are here with us in the Zoom, and those who are watching us on YouTube. Warm welcome to you. Yeah, we have Nikki today. Yeah, I would love to say a few words, but I don't think so. It's so necessary, because no matter what I'm saying is not Nikki. So yeah, Nikki, welcome.
Thank you. So should I say some words now?
Yeah.
Okay. So, oh. So apparently this is a meeting about about nothing. Oh, this seems so funny to be talking about nothing. And it's just kind of interesting and so wow that there would be a meeting about this. Because it's just whatever appears to be happening. So yeah, I don't know what to say. Apparently, I guess sometimes, we talk about this stuff, maybe there's no reason, there's just kind of a joy here that wants to express and talk about non-duality, although, it's not really a thing. But there's a joy, and there's just an automatic, I just want to say a few words about this or talk to somebody about this, and I don't know where that comes from. That comes from nothing. And apparently there's people want to hear about this, other people, and including myself. I love to listen to this. What a joy just to hear this. Sometimes listening to this message can bring tears of gratitude and joy and laughter and awe and wow. And I think the big wow is that we're just talking about unconditional freedom. That unconditional is just everything is already free. And yet to the one who feels like a seeker, or to the one who feels like there's something missing, or to the one who feels like a person, or whatever you want to call that energy, it insists on that this isn't it, and something has to happen, or I need to feel a certain way, or an experience needs to take place, or I need to see through an illusion, or I shouldn't be behaving this way anymore, or I shouldn't, just like all these conditions are placed on this. And I don't know, but maybe what apparently has taken place here is that there's no more need for life to be any other way than what already is apparently happening. And I would also say that the freedom is, it's so free that it even expresses itself as somebody who's looking for this. I don't know if you could hear, but that's freedom too. A toddler temper tantrum, a parent husband trying to help. This is freedom, absolute freedom. Nobody can try to be a toddler. Nobody's trying to be a husband. These things are so spontaneous, just like anything else, just like any thought that appears and any movement that's now happening on this spirit body and the words, like just, it's all so free just to be as it is, and it can't be any other way. And that's the wow. And it's not to say that, this is that what can appear too is like, wow, my child is sick and oh, what to do? Oh, anxiety, had to doctor or call the friend, or, it's just full on can be panic or, anything and everything. But maybe the spiritual person or the spiritual seeker would think, no, if you're afraid or if you're whatever, then that's not it. But everything is this. And, we could say not this too. This is complete unknowing. Even this, like, this body, it's like, even like, it can just be seen that, wow, this is just a body that belongs to no one. It's just like, wow. Nothing belongs to anybody. That's how free it is. And it's so free that it can even appear as the feeling of this body belongs to me. This is my body. It's just amazing. It's beautiful because there's not really anything that will lead to this, but this is a story, but it feels like such a joy to communicate this because apparently in the story, there was a lot of conditions that were placed on what freedom is. Like you have to do these to get to freedom. You have to take these certain actions, or you have to, in those rules, there were so many rules that I would follow, apparently. Through the story of the yogic tradition, or even through 12 steps, or any kind of spiritual literature, or searching, or people like the saints, or any of those people are always pointing to something must be done. You must read this literature. You must do these chants, or you must even, like, I'm wearing this doesn't mean anything, but I just put it on. But there's a story behind this, it's like, okay, you wear this because of blah, blah, blah. But this is so free that nothing is required to get to already this. And so when the rule book maybe collapses, it can seem to appear that way. Those things are just funny. It's just funny to think that you thought you had to yogic, you had to, and then kind of pranayama. Or you had to, and that doesn't mean that still can't appear here. I don't know. The other day I was like, let me try it out. There was the thought, let me try it out. And I don't know. This is.
Yeah, it can appear. It can appear, sure, but as if there is no heaviness attached to it. Yeah. It's like there is no, heaviness. Probably, I don't know.
Yes, and even with yoga, I guess specifically, I mean, there's like stretching the body for whatever. There's a preference here, even before we go to bed at night. It feels good to calm the body down. There's still a conditioning that wants to feel good, to want to feel peaceful at night. Who cares? Stretch the body, bend over, but there's no more story of, if I don't do this, then blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's just what's happening, stretching. And so, yeah, seeking can be here, torture, complete and utter torture is how it can be described. I don't know, maybe there are individuals who do certain practices where there isn't any suffering. I don't know. But any kind of seeking that I've ever done has inevitably led to more seeking and an intense amount of suffering. And sometimes with the seeking of some of the rules, like, the yogic tradition, it can be like, you have to do this practice intensely and relaxed at the same time. It's like, how do you do that? How do you stay relaxed and intense? And I don't know, maybe somebody can do that, but nobody's doing that, even if that appears in the body. But in this one who was always trying to do yoga in that way, I never could do that. Just, contraction and just seeking, and it was hard, and apparently. But again, even that, wow, nobody was doing that. Nobody was doing all of that, practicing. Wow, how do you explain that? Yeah.
I just love these sounds, these voices of this sweet, like, child voice. How is mothering happening? This is something that I need. I want to ask you.
Yeah. Mothering has always been happening. However, it appears to happen. But when there is a sense that there is a mother that has to do it a certain way, or I am responsible. If I don't do it this way, then bad things will happen, or when it feels like I am such a doer that if there isn't a me, then who's going to feed my kids, or who's going to not roll over on the baby in the middle of the night, or who's going to not. I've had these thoughts at one point when I was cooking in the kitchen. Like, you're walking from here to there with a knife in your hand. Oh, who's going to not drop that knife on the baby? But like, it's always just been happening that way. But apparently what can seem to happen with the, what do you even call it? I don't know what to call it, is that mothering seems to maybe be more of a joy, or not even that sometimes, because it can be so incredibly terrifying. This message is not like, oh, you're saved from anything bad. It's like, this is, anything could happen, and it's intense. Like, it can be like the baby's sick, or, full on frustration, just like, screaming. But there's no more a belief that I don't even know how to say it. It's like before it was like, you can't do anything that is gonna mess up your kids. So if you ever scream at your kids, you're a really bad mom. Like, that whole belief structure has fallen. And now it's like there's full on frustration, and maybe there's a scream, and maybe then there's apologizing and comforting the child after that. And, then there's more play, there's just joy. It's like there's this, almost like a toddler is raising a toddler. Because and I don't know, this is all the characters it might play out different. I have no idea. But for this apparent character here, there's just play, you know, there's a lot more play, and maybe there was play before and there's maybe a little bit more play now, I don't know, but there's just playing, you know, just with the children, and not because I should, but just because, you know, you understand why it could just be fulfilling to watch the ants, or I don't know, just to like the spider, just to catch the spider, or just to look at something, just like the first time kind of, or, you know. So mothering is there's a freedom in the mothering, because there's a dropping of expectation, I guess, or need for it to need to be a certain way, or it can be also this, there's no belonging, they don't belong to me, so that heavy sense of a responsibility can drop. They don't belong to me, but there's a mystery, and just like, wow, just to look at them, you know, just to hear them, just to see, just it's completely, yeah, I don't know.
Beautiful, beautifully said. There are some questions here, and now I will use this like gap to say, for those who are watching us on YouTube, feel free to jump here with us. There is a link. You can see it in the beginning of the chat window, and you can join us here. I'm going to put my glasses now to read some questions. Manisha, ladies, you're so sweet. Hi, Deva. She sends smiley faces, kisses, diamond. Okay, yeah. Joanne Smith, thank you for your messages. Manuela is sending you smiley faces and hearts. Vincenzo is laughing. I don't know. And Joanna asks, why do you think more average people are losing their apparent selves? Would you like me to read it again? Why do you think more average people are losing their apparent selves?
Well, I don't know if I don't think that. I don't know that. I don't know that. It would be a guess. It would be a complete guess to say that. And also to say, I mean, we could really deconstruct that sentence entirely to say that average people, I don't know that there's a difference between special people and non-average, you know, I don't know about this whole, there's that thing is, there's just people, parent people, just, you know, just not special, and yet at the same time, I don't know, so I don't know, maybe the question is pointing to average people. I don't know what that means. And losing their parent, you know, I don't know, this there's no self that's lost. There's, because there never was one. Yeah.
Do you remember what happened when you was reading the book, or the Ilona's book, Liberation Unleashed? Because there are no other questions, and while we were waiting, I just came.
There were some pointings in the book. Just, it's hard for me to remember, but some pointings about, You know, because you can hear that it's just what's apparently happening, or it's just what appears to happen, and you could hear that a lot, and then you could think that it's a special thing, like there's something special in that, or what the person who's describing it is seeing something extra special. But I think what the book helped clarify was that it's literally just, you know, whatever it is, it's the seeing, it's the, you know, touching or tasting, or, you know, it's just that. I don't know. Maybe that resonated. I don't know. And then it's hard to say. I did go, and I was making notes and stuff along the way of, like, kind of, maybe you would call them moments of clarity, or I don't know. Like, oh, like maybe so there was some things like that of um it's hard to put into words. I don't know. Yeah. You know what I love about this message too is that um that there's absolutely no authority at all. Wow, what freedom. That nobody knows, literally nobody knows what this is, what we're doing here, what, you know, that there's absolutely no and and uh and that, just that in and of itself. And I think intuitively as children, the children know that kind of, but the return to that is like, wow, for so long apparently in the story there was like always a looking to somebody wise or a guru or a spiritual person to confirm or to, you know, and this is just collapsing the whole thing, that somebody else knows or somebody else has something or somebody else. And so when the sense of there's absolutely no authority, it's just like, woohoo, what a party. Because how could this ever be known? It's just, how could it ever be known? In the story of Nikki, there was a lot of apparently knowing what this was all about. Like, well, this is now all about this. Now this is all about helping people, or now this is all about attaining a certain state, or now this is all about, if something bad happens in your life, then one day that will be helpful to somebody else. These apparent stories of meaning and purpose, they can be quite beautiful, I guess, in a sense, because for the seeker, it gives somebody the sense of hope that this is all for something. And so those can be kind of beautiful stories. But, you know, it's also a straitjacket. It's also imprisonment, because it's always having to tell the story again of why this is happening. Well, now this is happening because then maybe one day this will happen. And it's just like, or my life has more meaning and purpose and value because I'm doing this. And so then that makes you a special person who's like doing special, helpful things, or going somewhere special, or doing something special. And maybe, I don't know this, but suck the ordinary miracle out of what the mind likes to label as not special. So then there's like this special and then not special, and then so there's always seeking more special. But even just talking about this isn't anything special. But there's a joy, but there's a joy in whatever. And even if there isn't a joy, it doesn't matter. That's the freedom. It doesn't need to be joy. It can be whatever. And you and I have talked about this, Luciana, like there can be such a sweetness and full-on sadness. Anything that arises can just be, you know, where did that come from? Why is it, you know, like, wow, just, it could just be sadness in and of itself can be just complete fulfillment. But to somebody who is on a mission or seeking something, then there's a reason for the sadness, and let's get to the bottom of the sadness, and let's call the therapist over the sadness, or let's, you know. And even though those things may appear, who cares? That's freedom too. That's freedom too. To call the therapist, to want to know. So free, you can't get outside of just whatever is happening.
From YouTube, Mike asks, how do you find nothing feels so ungraspable? Hey, Mike.
How do you find nothing? How do you find nothing? How do you find nothing? It's impossible, isn't it? It's impossible. It's totally hopeless and impossible to find nothing. Because it's already what's happening. There's nothing to find. It's like watching my son yesterday. He was chasing a spider and just always trying to catch it until it's like, till it, the poor thing apparently dies. And that's what kind of trying to find does. It just kind of, that's a story, but it's like, it's a chase, and then in the end, nothing is found. And so the one who asks the question, how do you find nothing? That's it. That question is nothing, and that parent body who typed that out, that's nothing. Apparently doing all of that. Wow. Wow. What a miracle. What a mystery. Wow. Nothing is apparently asking the question. And nothing could never know nothing. And I don't even know what the hell I'm saying. These words are just, they're just, yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what we are doing. It's such a strange and funny and lovely
It's
feeling.
beautiful. I was talking to a friend the other day, and she said, oh, I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, yes. I mean, even if there is a feeling of you know what you're doing, that's freedom. And even if there is the feeling of I don't know what I'm doing, I just, well, yeah, that's I don't know if there's more honest or less honest, but yeah, I mean, you don't know what we're doing. What are we doing here? And there can be a parent like, well, I know that I'm doing the dishes, or, you know, like, but even that's like a story. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing. But the doing is happening, and the doing is getting done, and chop wood, carry water, same thing, plays out like it plays out. But the person can't imagine that that's just the way that it already is automatically. And that's the wow. It's like automatically, wow. It's always been like an automatic. Nobody's trying to be spiritual, and nobody's trying to like be self-aware or awareness and all that kind of stuff, you know.
I would like just to invite those of you who are here with us, if you want to say something, share, or just say hi, please feel free to say it. Yeah, but because no one is raising a hand, and that's why I'm just. I'm not pushing anyone. Just feel free. Ah, yes, sure. Hi, Manuela.
Hi. Hey, I just want to say thank you for putting this together. First of all, no one doing it, but also so beautiful to hear you, speak as a mom and as a person, and coming from this no space anymore where you can just be so free and so open with everything that is. And having been a mom 30 years ago, and just seeing the, wishing sometimes I would have had this knowing at the time, but there's no knowing, but there's just this freedom in being together with a child or with lives, which has nothing to do with anything other than just be free and letting someone else be free. And having also the opportunity to be with a little one, to see how everything just comes out from nothing, just so eruption sometimes, and sweetness and anger, but it's all arising out of this nothingness. And to be able to witness this as a young mom and everything else you're speaking, it's just so beautiful. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you, Luciana, for, oh my God, I love you guys so much. You and Lubo, it's beautiful to be with you. Thank you very much for bringing this message in such a beautiful way. So easy to hear you and feel you.
It's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, so sweet. Thank you, Manuela. Yeah. Oh, like, where is this gratitude or this thank you coming from? Like we were speaking with Nikki about this. Where is the gratitude coming from? It's just amazing.
Yeah. Yes, it's just gratitude, and wow, nobody's message, because it's nobody's message. Nobody owns it, and I totally, it's just it can just be so like, wow, just hearing, yeah.
From YouTube, just a second, because I've lost it. Oh my goodness. Here it is. Lubo is sending us hearts from the other room. Yeah, 3 hearts for me, for you, and for all the rest. Just kidding. No, this is of course joke. Someone said here, inner luminosity, or what is this? Inner luminosity. Apparently, it's the same language. Maybe this is a comment of something you've shared, Nikki. And the second is, this is hilarious. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes there's laughter for no reason at all. And even if somebody's listening and they don't find this very funny, that's freedom too. And I don't know what this is. I don't know. Is this last night? My husband and I were in a laughing fit together, just laughing, and then it can feed. I don't know. Maybe that's. And Lubo's talked about this being erotic. Because the play of the two, a parent two, can be so, yeah. you know, so there's the laughing back and forth, just the play of the mother to child, or even this just can be alive, just wow. And I don't know why we were laughing. I have no idea why we were laughing so hard at each other. And he said, I haven't laughed this hard in 15 years. And I said, what happened 15 years ago? And he said, I don't know. So it's just kind of funny. Maybe when the heaviness starts to fall out a little bit, I don't know, again, the heaviness can start to fall out of the story when the story is seen as just a story. And so then everything has a lot of laughter. Like, you know, this morning, apparently my mother-in-law, she was shaming me for not caring for my child in a specific way, dealing with his body. Like a health decision was made, and then she said, that's a mistake, and it's gonna blah blah blah. And maybe apparently before it would have been like this, like, oh, I have to defend myself, or shame or guilt, or like eat. And again, even if that stuff did arise, it doesn't matter. That's freedom too. But here it was like she was saying all these things about why it was wrong, and I was just laughing. And then the last thing was, but biblically, and I go, huh, what biblically? She said, yeah. But biblically, like this is, I just said, oh, you're going to go, but biblically now it's wrong. And then I just laughed, and my husband was in the background going, don't argue, don't fight with her. And even that's freedom, you know, even that, like not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting conflict or whatever. And so it just can be a little bit light, you know, the lightness of what's there to take serious, you know. It's just, you know. That's what I mean about the authority. Biblically, like what the book, you know, here, this is all the things to follow, to be, so that everything is, and that's just all silliness. Sorry, it's just so funny. How can somebody tell you what to do with your body that isn't even your body? That's a thing. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
Yes, but I just wanted to say that we don't have to speak, like just sitting here and listening to these happy noises. It will be the same.
Yeah, the lightness in that. It's like even, you know, it can be that there's something wrong if the toddler is screaming, or maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I need to fix it somehow. And of course, again, what can appear in that though is learning that there are certain things that that make a toddler feel out of control, that mothering can happen to maybe try to prevent that too. So say if they're too hungry, or if they're tired, or maybe, you know, they don't do well with transition, so you prepare them before, you know. So all of that, like very practical stuff of like, you know, that kind of understanding and knowledge still can appear. It's just that nobody's ever done that, and nobody's doing that, trying to learn how to be a better mom even. That's totally, yeah. He's trying to break in here.
Yeah, if you want to, you can just, we will let you know, like.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to be right back.
Yeah, sure, please.
Hey, honey, can you hear me? I'm kind of locked in here. Hey, honey, can you hear me? I can't get out, but can you guys just go up and do that?
Yeah. Just to check what's going on here. If someone wants to say something.
Can I just say something, Rosanna?
Sure. Yeah,
It's just so, to me, this is such a great way of experiencing, you know, how everything can be so full on if you just, yeah, you don't interfere anymore, if it's just happening that way. And it's just, when you hear a toddler, that's life, that's exactly how full on it can be. And then it can be so different again. And yeah, there's just this sense of freedom in being a mom and being free of having it to be a certain way or having to stop it or having to, it's just what is in every single moment. And in this time is always to be seen, it's everything and nothing and everything at once. And it can be so difficult to allow it to just let it be somehow. And knowing that it's all included, all of it is included. It's just beautiful to witness it in this way, in this moment, and just exactly like it is, raw, very raw. So yeah, that's just one aspect in life. It can be in all kind of ways, but this is in this way right now. So it allows me to feel the rawness of everything. And you know, also when you were talking about the seeking, sometimes the seeking where we just go out and somewhere else, but it's always right here in this moment. That's what's appearing. So thank you, Nikki.
Thank you, Manuela.
Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness, so sweet.
Yeah. This message can seem to just strip away all the beliefs, you know, and maybe the person will think, well, these beliefs are better beliefs, and those beliefs are, you know, these beliefs are helpful ones that you can hang on to, and then those beliefs are bad ones because then they make me suffer. But all beliefs are all equally irrelevant. And so in a parent story of Nikki, with the collapse of all of these beliefs, there was a real simultaneous, like, maybe you could call that a dark night, I don't know, but it was just that feeling of, dread, kind of doom, like losing even the good beliefs. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It's like this false sense of a me, or the one that has something to say about this, simultaneously is longing for its absence and also screaming to not exist, because it never did. But like, so that kind of experience just can be so tumultuous at times. For here it was, and I don't know, maybe it may not play out like that for other people. And that's the beauty of this, is that it seems to play out differently in whatever way that it does. That's the nobody's special, and yet it's all unique characters, unique apparent unfoldings. And that's why the comparing sometimes it's completely pointless. But the individual will keep comparing and saying, well, I don't understand because I haven't had this, or I haven't had that, or that doesn't look like that. And that's all the apparent person being free enough for that thought to appear is freedom. It's all free to just keep whatever apparently is happening. A spiritual person will say, well, too many thoughts is not good. Or even you might even hear in these circles like meing and being. And so meing, I don't know this, but I think what there might be saying is like being is when there's not a lot of thoughts, and meing is when there is a lot of thoughts. And who cares? Like, it's like, who gives a shit? Doesn't matter. Maybe conditioning will be like, well, maybe it's more pleasant when there's not a lot of thinking. I don't know. But how it's happened playing out here is it's just irrelevant, I don't understand the meaning and being thing. I don't understand anything really. But yeah, the collapse of the beliefs, all the important ones, and all the ones that are labeled as bad. It's just, they feel safe. I remember that's what it was. It was kind of like, well, this one here is saying that if I keep doing certain things, then I'll be safe. There'll be a certain amount of security, and like, and really this message is about zero, no security, no safety, no ground to stand on, no, just why a complete wilderness, complete anarchy, complete, just, it is edgy. There's this, and so, yeah, that's not to say that apparent safety, though, doesn't appear. So there's the safety within a romantic relationship, the play of two. There can be that sense, of, wow, and that's beautiful, But that's just a story, too. I don't know. The feeling of safety is free to feel as though it's freedom to appear as safe, feeling safe with an apparent other person.
Hello.
Hi, Jonas.
Nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
Today there's this question again coming up. What is real? And there's like a fear below it. And the last time we spoke, you said, this is real. And it was like, but is it apparently happening, or what is real? And can you talk about this a little bit? So, it's the,
So non-duality is pointing to that there's no position, nothing to stand on, nothing to hang your hat on, nothing to say that this is absolutely true. There's no more safety in any of those concepts of whatever I'm labeling as. And so I don't know this, but real and unreal is pointing to that. It's pointing to, apparently, I don't know, this is what's appearing to happen, and it seems pretty real because it's what's happening. I'm drinking this and real hot, hard table, and this is the closest thing I've ever known to real life. I know. I don't know, but the unreal is in the unknowability of it.
Mhm.
The unreal is in that it's absolutely unknown.
Is it like the same to find out, yeah, what is this? This is it, but nobody knows
Yes, yeah,
what it
yeah.
exactly is.
Yes, that's right. It's the mysterious sense of all I apparently seems to be happening right now is whatever appears to be happening. And yet I can't really put my finger and catch what it is that it's apparently happening. It's just it's just a sense of, at one point this it had a very felt sense of being a very real, serious thing, going somewhere, coming from something, meaning something, and having a goal. And now all of a sudden it just seems to be this kind of, it's just kind of what appears to happen, apparently. Apparent, because the pointing of the word apparently, I think, is because we don't really know. The seeing that there is nobody doing this, any of this. There's nobody in the body that's ever done anything. So if there's nobody in the body that's ever done anything, how can anything ever be known? There's no nowhere at all to even know what's real and unreal. I don't know. I don't know what real and unreal is. I think I'm trying to point to it, but I don't know. Unreal in the sense too that everything is empty. Nobody in the body. So nobody in any, no real solid structure, no real, substance or reality that has a real story that really kind of like that.
But are you sure about this?
I don't have any kind of certainty. I don't own any kind of sure certainty, or there's, yeah, there's no, this is the end of certainty. This is completely unknown. This is unknowing.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonas. I enjoy your questions.
And Nikki, isn't the unknowing the freedom?
Well, yes, and also the knowing is freedom.
The knowing of the unknowing is the freedom.
No, the knowing, the one who thinks that they know, So
Okay.
the unknowing is the freedom, and Jonas asking the question of do you know? And kind of, if the question implies, if it's asking, do you know, that the questioner, parent questioner, is saying, because I would like to know. That's freedom, appearing as I would like to know. And the one who insists on knowing, like, I know what this is. I know what this is, and I know because this is what the Bible says, or, you know, whatever the story is. I know that this is actually a cup. Like the one that knows is freedom too. Appear as the knower. Yeah, everything
Okay.
is
Yeah.
everything is freedom. You can't escape it. Because who would? Nobody is asking the question. Nobody's saying the word. Nobody's saying that they know or that they don't know, and nobody's being the knower even. Nobody. But it can have that sense of freedom. I don't know. The sense of freedom, I guess, might appear when there is that the falling away of the need to know. I don't know that, but that might be the lightness in the seriousness of this falls away when the need to know or understand, or even when the need for the need to fall away, you know, even the need to know, if that's kind of seen as that's inescapable, nobody's doing that, and that's totally freedom. It's like there's no more need for anything to change or to be different. There's the freedom. That's the freedom. Nobody could be a knower and nobody could be an unknower. Yeah, the characters might appear that way. Unconditional freedom is everything is free already. There can be such a relief, especially if the character is a character who believes in real responsibility and ownership. It can be such sweet freedom to know that nobody's ever done anything. So here there was like the character was, you know, addicted to drugs, alcohol, harmed a lot of people, and all that stuff. And but nobody did that. So the shame and the guilt and everything can just fall right out of that whole intense story of me and my life, and now I must feel bad and carry this heavy burden of being the harmer, or being the, you know. And then at the same hand, the one who apparently spent a lot of time being of service and helping and doing good works. Nobody did that. Nobody can take credit for that. There's absolute freedom in that oh, wow, this whole thing just played out. It's just playing out, just all on its own. So it's only ever been the absolute, you know? I don't know, that's just a word. But the absolute, whatever that is, people call it energy. Just life, just, it's only ever been whatever lights up these bodies. I don't know, playing out. And my friend and I were having a good laugh the other day because it was like, the absolute doing drugs, the absolute getting sober, the absolute, you know, it's just like nobody's ever.
I'm going to read something from YouTube.
Okay.
If someone. All right. From Joanne. Maybe you have already mentioned it, but what's the apparent story of when you become liberated?
What's the story?
What probably was the apparent story of when you become liberated? I think I get the question. I'm not
They
sure.
want story.
Yeah, maybe you have already mentioned
Mm-hmm.
it, but was the apparent story of when you become liberated? Was the apparent story of when you become liberated?
Just want to know what the story is of, yeah, a moment of liberation. Yeah. I think I've been trying to point to that this has only ever been liberation. So this is only ever liberation. This is you can't get away any further away from what this has always and already been, which is absolute liberation. Even appearing as an apparent body addicted to drugs or addicted to seeking, or, you know, we call it bound and addicted, but it's freedom. Appearing as that, it's so free, it can appear. Wow. As a drug addict, as a seeker. So there is no real moment, because there is no moment. And there's no story of liberation, because I can't point to any specific, you know, I can't point to it. I know maybe some people have like, well, waha, aha, I saw this, and, you know, there here appeared certain seeings, or, you know, but that would just be a story to tell you, to give you a little carrot, to say that when you experience this very specific thing, then you'll know that you'll be liberated. And that's misleading, you know. I don't know what to say. You could say that just certain things stopped appearing that were very fundamental to the identity of the character. Certain things like guilt and shame and remorse and a lot of heavy self-criticism or self-consciousness, or like, but even that is a story, because even all of that is freedom. Even all of the guilt and shame is freedom. Because nobody ever did any of that. Nobody was doing that. God, it's so freaking stunning. It could just make me cry right now. Yeah, there's only just liberation. It would be totally misleading to point to one happening.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks, Luciana.
There is a question here in Zoom from Julie. Julie, would you like me to read the question, or would you like to just share? Yes. Okay. Thanks. Okay. I'm going to read it. All right. So, Julie, I'm finding as the apparent sense of me is loosening, that there is much less interest in certain conversation my friends are having. Like I just don't care. Huh? Can you relate? Seems it's just preferences shifting. Would you like me to read it again, or can you see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Can you?
Okay. So I am finding as the apparent sense of me is loosening, that there is much less interest in certain conversations my friends are having. Like I just don't care. Can you relate? Seems it's just preferences shifting.
Yeah, I guess I would just say, that's freedom appearing as that. That's freedom appearing as you losing interest in certain conversations that are taking place. It doesn't really mean anything other than that's what's apparently happening, and that's unconditional freedom. and in the story, it can be that like there, I could say at different times, okay, I'll word it like this. There were certain times where I was only interested in wanting to talk about spiritual things. You know what I mean? Like there was a very heaviness on, let's just talk about deep things or spiritual things. I don't want to hear about the weather, and I don't want to hear about your day and if your dog died, or I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear about frivolous. There's a judgment around what's frivolous or what's unimportant. So I don't want to hear about, well, where do you live, or where do you and so at one point I was bored with that. There was a boredom, sure, and but in only wanting to talk about very like tell me what makes you, tell me what your desires is, tell me your most spiritual experience. I don't know, tell me that, just deep stuff. I read the character here really liked to have deep conversations. And I could say still, maybe there's, I like to get deep. Apparently, there's deep conversations can still appear. I don't know, but maybe there's no more like preference with even that. And there's also no more preference with, there can be such a joy in talking about very simple, ordinary, like the simple ordinary things, listening to even gossip maybe, or even listening to just a very basic normal conversation can be just as equally as fulfilling. And that doesn't even really mean anything at all. I'm not saying that what's being experienced apparently here is any different than what's being experienced there, or has any more value, or one's more freer than the other. That's not at all what I'm saying. Maybe it's changes too, apparently, for the character. I'm at the airport, and then sure, let's talk about random stuff one moment, and the next moment, shut up, I just want to drink my coffee, and not talk to you about anything. So it doesn't matter.
Another question from YouTube. Are you more forgetful, careless in practical daily life?
Yeah.
Oh.
What's funny about that is I don't know if it's I've lost the real keeping track of time. Like I really have to help myself by putting things in the calendar or whatever. And even that, then maybe if I can't find where my phone is. But I don't know how much different it is. And but yeah, forgetfulness. I will forget what I say. I'll forget what I was just worrying about, or maybe I'll forget, Yeah, there's a little bit more for me. And even that, I don't know. I can't say. I can't quantify it. I can't really say. And even if it appeared as in this apparent story as more forgetful than before, I don't know if that even means a whole lot of anything either. Because if you ask my husband, he might say that I'm just as forgetful now as I was, not too long ago or whatever. But I can't, it's harder to hang on to, things, anything really, I guess.
Another question is, if there is no one, then where is the question of knower or not knower arises? If there is no one, then where is the question of knower or not knower arises?
From nowhere. I don't know. Because that's the wowness of it, right? It's wow. Where did seeking come from? Where, it's just what apparently is happening or not happening. It's just, that's the wowness of it, is that this, you don't know. I know, see, I just forgot the question.
I'm going to read. If there is no one, then where is the question of knower or not knower arises?
Yeah.
Is the question.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just rising from nowhere, from no one. It's just what's rising. That's why maybe, I don't know, but this is maybe where the word nothing comes from. Unknowing, or that's why it's used, or it's used as descriptive, because any words that you use as a descriptive can't really even touch this. That's how unknowable it is, or that's how unknown it is the words don't really mean anything, and they're just being said. Oh my God, by who? From where? I don't know.
Another question from Julie here in the Zoom chat. I used to get into grounding my energy and using tools to keep my energy separate from others, etc. Now I just don't do it. It's not arising, and I feel like I can't possibly know if it even matters or not. Any thoughts? Would you like me to say it again?
Yeah, maybe one. Yeah.
So I used to get into grounding my energy and using tools to keep my energy separate from others, etc. Now I just don't do this. It's not arising. And I feel like I can't possibly know if it even matters or not.
I just love it. Yeah, that's so stunning. It's just beautiful. Yeah, the ending was just beautiful. This, how to know if it matters or if it doesn't matter. I mean, it's just what's apparently happening. You used to ground and now you don't. Who cares? Who knows if it matters? Yeah. And then in the story of Nikki, it's like, yeah, the grounding necklaces are grounding, even with the bare feet on the grass. But hey, that I'm still going to be doing that, because apparently there's a preference here that like, just, I like to be out barefoot in the grass, but there's no more, you know, belief that this being barefoot on the grass is gonna get me somewhere or make sure I'm more peaceful or more grounded or more, so that my day plays out in a way that is more preferable to me. It's just an enjoyment. This parent body just likes to have feet in the mud, feet in the grass, you know, like you know, and then the thing about like keeping energy separate is, yeah, there's no, that's, I don't know, that's a whole, I think that's a whole story of anything. There's no yeah, there's just energy. So trying to keep it, yeah, boxed, I could see how that would collapse, because, you know, there's no my energy and your energy. It's just energy, and there's no, if there's no more need to, you know, keep, you know, say someone's acting crazy, you could call it crazy, or maybe there's like a, you know, okay, yeah, I'll use this as an example. Maybe sometimes if the toddler was really wiling out, really going crazy, there would be this, you know, I need to take a break or whatever. And even that can still appear, because it's just totally whatever is apparently happening. But there is no more like, I need to protect myself around this person because they have toxic energy, or like, and here's the thing too, this isn't saying like, so certain characters still resonate with other characters. So like maybe this character prefers and is friends with certain, you know, people that I'm going to call, I love them, they're my people. So like, you know, I even say, who cares, they're my people, it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean anything, but I like to be around them. And there's nothing wrong that I don't like to be around with somebody else who has a certain other kind of way of being with their mind, body, mechanism, character, where I'm like, whoa, I'm just like, I don't want none of that. So like, that's totally natural and normal to not, you know, to resonate with some people more than others. And to, this message is not talking about, you know, being more loving and kind and always loving everybody. It's like, no, totally naturally, whatever your character likes or doesn't like, it's totally freedom appearing as that. But a spiritual person on a spiritual path who's trying to be more loving and more spiritual is going to say you need to love everybody, because maybe some guy Jesus said that however many years ago. I don't know. Love your neighbor as thyself. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, so energy, yeah, keeping it out, keeping it in.
Yeah, I'm just laughing here. Yeah, there are just, I think there are 2 questions or 1 question, and maybe if you want to, we can leave it like this, the meeting, I mean. But if you feel fine, we can continue for let's say 10 minutes more. How do you feel?
Oh, I feel wonderful.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Fun.
Okay, so we can continue a little bit more. So a question from YouTube, from is it possible? I'm sorry. I just blocked. Is it possible to fall back to the old, seemingly separate system? Is the question.
Yeah, I don't know. Because anything could apparently happen. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to even say whatever would happen 1 second from now. That's the freedom. Wow. My cat just shook his head really fast, and I didn't know that was going to happen. So like You know, like, I don't know if I'll shake my head in a second and all of a sudden, I don't know, like I don't know. I could say that there's not really a fear of that. And even if there were a fear, that would be a freedom appearing as afraid to lose something. Somebody doesn't have anything. So, okay, here's the assumption that there's no more like a contraction that happens. Maybe, I don't know. But sometimes there can be a contraction or like, you know, wow, fear, or I will say that it's hard for me to believe, I'm going to use the word believe, that like I could scoop up all these old belief systems that have seemed through as just being empty and then apply them back onto an illusory sense of a me that never happened. I don't know that that could ever happen. You know what I'm saying? It's like, how would that, like, believing in all those beliefs again and believing in me, and I don't know. I don't see how. I don't know though.
There is a smiley face covered with hearts from M5. This is for you, Nikki, I guess. And from Marshall Marks, there are like eyes staring like this. You can't see this, but it's funny. And I don't know what's this, an ear. So eyes and ear.
Like really looking and listening.
Yes, probably. I guess so. While we are sitting like in silence, and something came to ask you, like, I don't know how to formulate the question. So this is about the silence. Is it scary? The silence, like sitting here and it is silent for a while, and what's going on?
Yeah, no, there's no scariness. There's no scariness in the silence. It's just silence, you know, just anything could happen to silence. And then maybe you hear the birds, and then there's a thought that can appear, and I don't know. Yeah, the silence is at a certain time. Maybe there was an experience of being uncomfortable, maybe, or with it. But I can't say anything that means anything, or maybe certain characters prefer silence over not being silent. I don't mind the silence at all. I actually really enjoy it. But I don't. There's a real enjoyment with it. Listening to nothing, but I don't. I no longer are. I don't have a real I really need to be in the silence so that then my day will go better, or that, you know, seeking silence, or, you know, yeah. Nothing needs to happen, you know.
I think this is the best. This is my favorite. Nothing needs to happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
A question. Is your child in that same state?
Is my what?
Child in that same state. Is your child in the same state?
Well, this isn't a state. A state would the word state points to something that is bound, or that is kind of doesn't move, I guess. But this is unbound and is constantly moving, and yet there is simultaneously a sense that nothing is happening and that nothing ever happened. So that's not a state. But you could say that that babies or toddlers or children, they're kind of, they haven't developed. This is a story, but it seems like when you watch them, there's a lightness and there's a spontaneity that's natural there, and it's free to express without any kind of heavy self-consciousness. But the one who grows up and develops self-consciousness and feels insecure or whatever is just freedom too. You know, it's just freedom to being as however it's being, however it's playing out, however the story plays out. So sometimes people will point to the child is more free than the adult, but that's a story. It's not real. Yeah, there's no state in a child. There's no state anywhere. Like, it's just boundless, the happening. Totally unpredictable, totally unknowable. You can't know where your eyes are going to move in the next second.
Yeah. We are chatting like 19 minutes. Can you guess? Yeah, I just want to say thank you everyone for coming, and thank you Nikki for just accepting this invitation to share together. Like you said, it's a joy, and just joy.
Yes, just so wild that we would even be here talking about this. And
exactly. how do we end up like this? I mean, only this is like mind blowing.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank you
guys
so much
for a beautiful questions. Yeah.
Yes, and yes, all the whole thing, beautiful, stunning. Yeah, it's just
Yeah. You will come again, I'm sure.
yeah.
Oh, thank you everyone who are watching on YouTube. I'm not sure I can read all of your questions, but I try my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we are live almost like each week, just to know. And Nikki will join us again probably.
Yes, for the Luciana. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and with a different maybe. Yeah, there is a joy like sharing and speaking, and oh, it was a hug. Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
beautiful, and I'm going. Yeah, you can unmute yourself if you want to just say bye.
Bye, everybody.
Good to hear.
Bye, thanks.
Bye,
Hi,
Lara.
Nikki. Thank you.
Bye. You.
Thank you.
This was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so touching. Yeah, the video will be on the channel. You can watch later if you want to. Those of you who join us like lately.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.